it's about God.
That's right.
So the real deal is what I want to talk about is that when we start then, where are we now in God? Then says that when I first started out in God, I didn't know much about God. So I took a milk approach. And I can tell you that I have milk. I wasn't ashamed to tell you that I didn't know much about the Bible. I wasn't ashamed to tell you that I just found Jesus. And let me tell you, the most beautifulest thing in the world, I think, is when the person first gets saved.
That's right.
Now, many of y'all don't remember that. Y'all look at me like, I don't remember getting saved. And that's why you acting like that. Because if you remember when you got saved, you was on fire. You was hungry. You want to know more about Jesus? You read that word a whole bunch of times. Nobody can get in your way. If they try to get you to go to the club, or try to get you to smoke some stuff you ain't never been smoking, or they try to get you to drink like a fool and act crazy, or do anything that was going to stop you from having a relationship with God, it was that.
That's right.
But all of a sudden, that was then. But now, somewhere in between then and now, somebody then allowed somebody to mess their head up. Because what happened is, then you understood that God was your source. Somewhere in between, you thought you was on meat, but you still was on milk, and you got a little cocky in God. And so you start walking around as if you got God, but you don't have him. You have a mindset and a mentality that is carnal. And so instead of sticking with the original plan of following God's plan, what you end up doing is you begin to allow yourself to be infiltrated with things that have nothing to do with God. Yeah. That is how many of us as Christians, when we start off, end up in a bad place. We don't understand that God got to be first.
That's right.
If God is not first, you're going to have problems. Many of us that come to church say, well, man, it just seems like life ain't fair. No, it's not. It wasn't fair for Jesus. It ain't going to be fair for you. The only difference is between those that are not saved and you being saved is if you saved, you know where your source is.
Yeah, that's right.
You know where to plug in at. You don't mind plugging in to God when stuff, matter of fact, you plug it in all the time, and when you ain't got it right and you carnal-minded, your socket has a little switch on it. You flip it when it's convenient. I'll plug in when I get in trouble, but when things are going when I think things are all right, I'm not plugging in. So we have this mentality that says that I am not committed fully to God. Yeah. It is only temporal. When it's convenient, I'll do godly things. To go a step further before I hit this word, see, here's another indicator. When you talk more about yourself than you do about God, we got an issue.
That's right.
When you call yourself bigger and better, but nobody's getting saved, nobody's coming to find out who God is, nobody can see God in your life, you got it twisted.
Yeah.
That saying is more about you than it is God.
Yeah.
Titles don't save you.
That's right.
You come to church does not save you. Newsflash, you can go to hell sitting right here in church.
Yes, you can. Amen.
We've gotten beyond ourselves. We think that heaven and hell is a joke. Hell is no joke.
That's right.
Hell is for real. And if we really understood hell is for real, we wouldn't be raising so much hell with other people. Because you wouldn't have time to be worrying about other folks' business. Now let me tell y'all something. Milk people always looking for somebody else to give them something.
Say that.
See, you can tell a milk person. See, they gotta have things orderly and right in order for them to get God in the service. You know, I tell you what, God has really matured me because I used to be that type of person, Jeff. I thought that, man, if the choir didn't sing the favorite song, if the preacher didn't preach it a certain way, if the chairs wasn't lined up right, if it seemed like that, man, he didn't come from the King James Version. And we always got these stipulations as to if we can serve God and get crazy. That's a trick of the enemy. He got us looking crazy, man. He got us coming to church for some dumb stuff. Oh, that don't line up. See, he come to kill, steal, and destroy. He will take your mind. Yes, brother and sister, that's what he want to do. He want to get you wrapped up, tied up, and tangled up in some retarded stuff.
That's it.
You know what? I don't like the way you talk. Man, you don't come to church to worry about how folks talking. You don't got no time to be worrying about what folks doing. What you need to be doing is find out what God wants you to do.
Yeah.
When do we get to that point to come to church for that reason? I want to come and get more word, more God, and I want to be in the spirit of God versus in the flesh. Yeah, y'all be quiet all y'all want. I'm excited. So check this out. So, this thing about watering. One, Paul talks about a toss. He talks about one water, one plant, and God gives increase. Now I want to talk about that before I go to the meat of my message. Come on, my dear folks. Folks that's fleshly. This is what we do. We compare one another in the church. Mm-hmm. See, those days it was challenging. Paul in the earlier first chapter, second chapter, get down to third. They said, well, Paul, wasn't you the one who baptized? I'm like, translate verse. Paul said, you know what? I think I did baptize Billy. And I'm just telling you, I think I baptized Billy and Fred. I think I did. I think maybe 1, 2, or 3, but that ain't what God asked me to do. God said, I'm a preacher. I preach. But he said, guess what? Ain't no one more better than the other person. You just because, I plant, you water, I plant, it don't matter. Because if we don't see the productivity of what we do in God, it didn't matter in the first place.
Yeah.
So what we do, this is what we do in church. We get a little crazy, man. We sit there and say, you know what? I think Jeff preached better than Byron. And Byron preached better than so-and-so. And both of them is planted.
That's it. Say that.
So who's retarded? You are. Because the word is the word.
That's right.
See, you should have came for Byron or Jeff or whoever preaches.
Yes.
You should have came for the word of God. But what happens is you get stuck on who's planting and who's watering.
Yes.
Your water hose is a little longer now.
Wow.
And your nozzle has a shut-off valve. You got more pressure than I do. And and your water cleaner than my water. And we get all caught up in the crazy stuff.
All right, yes. You teach them.
Man, your seed bigger than my seed.
Ooh,
we do that crazy stuff. We do that. We say, well, you know what? You see God is prospering you better than he prospered me because of the stuff you got. Let me tell y'all something. Nope. Don't look at stuff people got.
Right.
Because, man, folks in some trouble with a whole bunch of stuff.
Yes, right. Yes.
They ain't happy. They ain't got the joy of the Lord. Yeah, Galatians 5 talk about joy and strength, patience and long. So they ain't got to see certain stuff. That's why I like God. See, you can be rich in earthly things, but I got you when it comes to the love of God. See, when you land up there with all your crazy stuff, you got your Mercedes, you got your big house, you got all that stuff, but you're about to blow your brains out. Me, I got 2 cents and I'm happy in God.
All right. That's right.
Huh? I got the patience. I understand that it ain't any stuff I got. It's in who I belong to.
That's right.
And if I do this long enough and do it right, God's going to give me the increase anyway.
Yes, he is.
And when he do, you can't take it from me.
That's right. That's right.
That's the difference between milk people and the meat people. Meat people know that, guess what? This meat I got, it's going to take me a while to digest it, baby. But I'm going to have a little bit more nutrient than you going to have.
Yes.
I'm going to have a little bit more staying power than you got, and I'm going to get more out of it. It ain't going to just run right through.
Yes, yes.
It's going to hold. It's going to stick. I want to be saved, sanctified, and filled with the Holy Ghost.
What you say?
But, milk people don't want nothing to do with sanctification. Milk people just want to look good. Yeah, that's what I found about milk people. Milk folks want to stay ever learning. But they don't want the knowledge of the truth.
All right.
That's milk people. Milk people want you to just keep feeding them what's convenient. Now, I ain't had a baby and I don't need one either. Baby would be in trouble. But I could raise a child and I tried the other folk and my nephew and I struggled with that. I wish they did have a manual. They didn't have one. I was asking God for one. God, can you just go and just rain one down for the brother? But guess what? See, when I was feeding Robbie, he's the first one, I struggled. Robbie would cry all the time. And this is what I do. I push him in the house. And he stopped crying. start pushing him. He started crying. Y'all know where I'm going.
Ooh, you better stop.
Oh, when I gave him what he wanted,
Woo.
he was satisfied. But when I stopped doing stuff that satisfied him, he kept crying. That's milk. Long as you're doing what they want you to do,
All right, you teach.
they will be okay for that time period. Oh, I'm going to preach the way you want me to preach. I'm gonna dress the way you want me to. I'm going to say what you want me to say. I'm going to be your friend. I'm going to call you. I'm going to do it. Man, no!
That's right.
Teach.
I ain't doing all that.
Yes.
I want to be saved, sanctified, and filled with the Holy Ghost.
Yes.
I want God. I don't want you.
Yes.
You're
Yes.
trying to be crazy.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I got to the point. I don't care if they like me or not. I don't care if you don't agree with me. I don't care if you don't get permission to visit. I want God.
Amen.
The only mission and vision that's important to me is what God got for me.
Yes, sir.
Time is too short to be playing around with folks that's taking you all over the place. Milk people. Milk people like to be dressed. Milk people. You got to dress them. Every time you deal with milk folks, they want you to clothe them. Now y'all say, what do you mean? They always want you to clothe them with a title. They always want you to give them accolades. They always want you to turn around and put something that's on them that don't belong on them.
Yes.
Oh, you're great and wonderful. You're wise. You're almighty. You're just... That's milk people.
Yes.
Folks that meet people walk in here, they ain't asking you to put nothing on them. Don't care what you call them. They really don't care what you think about them. Because meat folks know who they belong to.
That's it.
They know who their God is. They know you didn't wake them up last night.
That's right.
They know good well you ain't the one when that tape was on E. They got you to take your house
Yes.
and back to your job.
Yes.
They
Yes.
ain't the one when your workers was doing. You asked them, they said no, and God went away.
Yes.
That's meat people.
Yes. Yes,
Meat
God.
people know where the meat come from. They know it ain't got nothing to do with your milk. Meat people. Milk folks like for you to take their places. Like for you to take their places. Places you don't need to go.
Yes.
Their mind have not been transformed and renewed. So when I deal with you, you want to take me places in the mind I ain't got no business going. We got to have ignorant conversations. Oh yeah. You know, when I engage you, we ain't talking about God, man. You want to correct me. You want to tell me what I'm not. You want to sit here and tell me all your dirt and all your problems. And then when I get to talk to you about myself, I don't have time to hear it.
What you
They ain't got time for me. They ain't got time to hear my stuff. But they always want you to hear their stuff.
Yes.
They never want to take time and break bread. That's how you know milk people from meat people. Meat people want the word. And they will pray. They want you to fast for them. They want something that God has to invoke. Milk people don't want nothing but trouble.
All right.
And then milk people, they want to discourage you. Milk people. Because of the contract comparison. See, you know what? Because you ain't this way. I'm going to tell some other folks that you ain't crazy. Because you ain't doing what I want you to. That's milk people. So you go around and you say, well, they don't water the way they should water. They don't plant the way they should plant. And then what you're doing, you bring division amongst the brothers and the sisters. Now I do want to tell y'all something. Now that I'm getting more and more in the word, I want to thank all of y'all for talking about me like a dog, whoever doing it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Because what you have made me do is make up my mind who I'm going to serve. If I'm going to serve you, I'm going to serve God. And I done got so crazy, man. I said, God, because you ain't going to do jack for me. What can you really do for me but drive me crazy?
Yes.
I got to the point now, Jeff, I said, man, I just wake up thinking, you know, because our mind will play tricks on us if you let it, because the devil will do you like this. But you know what, now, when I read my word and stuff, you know, I don't like the enemy to take my stuff. Used to be a time